it's Dr. Jen here. I have had a few people recently ask me to do a video about rage and anger in benzo withdrawal. I thought it was a great topic because we don't talk that much about it, but yet a lot of people experience it. So first, let me just normalize it for you that even people who are calm, mild-mannered people, pacifist, wouldn't hurt a fly, can suffer with intense anger and rage, and it can come on just like that. For some people, it will build up slowly and they can feel it coming on, and they might have a little bit more opportunity to try to work with it to get themselves calmed down. But a lot of people go from 0 to 60 in just the blink of an eye. So if you are suffering from a lot of anger and rage and benzo withdrawal, this video is for you. And I'm so sorry that you are having to go through that experience. I know all of the benzo withdrawal symptoms are uncomfortable, but I do know that that rage and anger is one that can be a little more frightening than others because we feel like we are losing control. So let's just back up and do a quick reminder of what's causing the anger and the rage. So we have to think about how the drug works in the brain on the GABA receptors and causes them to do things that they're not designed to do. And I'm painting with a very broad brushstroke here, but neuroadaptation takes place. So the brain shuts down some of the GABA receptors so we can't keep making the neurons so numbed out and so sedated that they can't get a good electrical impulse, the excitability across it. So that's really what's happening is we're changing our brain to where there's too much sedation, too much inhibitory action, and not enough of the glutamate, the opposite of GABA, the gas pedal. So the brain's really, really, really smart. It's amazing. I mean, the brain is just so miraculous and mysterious. But it knows it wants to be at homeostasis, at balance. So when we force it to be more sedated, it's going to want to change to get back to where it can be at balance. So that is called neuroadaptation. So when you have that taking place, and now you have GABA receptors, the whole inhibitory system that's not working properly, your threat detection center, the limbic system, right? You've got a right and left amygdala in there. That's going to be operating kind of unchecked. And so we're going to be able to have these really flash floods of emotions. And without that balance, often those floods of emotions are going to be very negative because that phenomenon that I talk about all the time, state drives story. The state of our nervous system drives and fuels and flavors our thoughts and feelings. And if you're in the protect state, which is where we are most of the time in benzo withdrawal, through no fault of our own, because we don't have the inhibitory action, so we're in that fight, flight, or freeze response, our thoughts are going to be negative. Now, if we're over in the connect state, that's our default state. That's a parasympathetic ventral vagal response, and that's where we want to be. All the good, yummy stuff happens there. And so when we're there, we can think life and love affirming thoughts. They're going to be positive because that's an outward focus. It's not about us. The protect state it's about us. It's me. I've got to protect me. So it's this very inward focus. So that is going to cause a lot of really intense negative emotions. So it's really important to know what's causing it. Just go with that. That's what's causing it. State's driving story, it's benzo withdrawal. So some of the things that you can do would be, if you're getting that buildup, that's a red flag to pause. So just pause. Take a breath. See if you can decide how you really want to respond. Can you work with your body? Can you do some breathing? I'm a big advocate for this left to right, gentle stroking or squeezing. Not this. This is what we do when we're cold, when we're agitated, that kind of, this kind of rocking. It's this gentle back and forth and back and forth. And we believe that type of gentle rocking back and forth takes us back to our time in Mama's womb when we were safe and warm. So it just sends a signal. It just sends a signal to our threat detection circuitry, to our, to the parts of the brain that are trying to say everything's dangerous. And it says, no, we're safe. We're safe. So I love this. I use it a lot in benzo withdrawal. I still use it to this very day. If I have things going on in my life, and I'm a human, life happens, there's some things going on, so I can just sit sometimes and do this. And a good mantra when you're doing this to say, I'm safe, because safety is the prescription for everything. That's how we get over into that parasympathetic ventral vagal response, into the connect state, is knowing that we're safe. If we don't feel safe, if we feel like there's an emotional threat, someone's judging us or evaluating us, they're being disrespectful, or there's a physical threat, our nervous system goes right over into that protect state. So I'm safe. And I used to remind myself, I've been here before. That was a kind of a coded way of saying, whatever I was experiencing, I survived it, and I'm going to survive it this time, because it's really important. Listen to the difference. If you were to say, I'm safe, this is not dangerous, your brain's going to grab a hold of that word dangerous, throw the word not right out the door, and your limbic system's going to go, wait, what? Danger? We're in danger. So you want to always speak in the positive. I am safe. I've been here before. That was my way of saying, this isn't really dangerous because I survived it before. But that's a way of saying it without the word dangerous or I'm dying. Any of those real flashpoint words that can just grab us and trigger us so quickly. So I've been here before. I'm safe. I've been here before. The other thing that used to help a lot when my anger and rage bubbled up, and it did, I was not immune to that particular benzo withdrawal symptom. I would walk. I would just do some gentle walking. I tried not to do, real heavy pacing because that kind of pacing just seems to send a signal. Hey, there really is an issue here. So it was just gentle walking, just to kind of just move my body so that my body could help metabolize those stress hormones. So there's a difference. You see the difference? A gentle walk, metabolizing stress hormones, as opposed to this infuriated. So try to find that middle ground of just a gentle stuff without letting the actual physical thing that you're doing get too tinged with all that anger, if you can. And if you can't, it's okay. It's all right. Don't judge yourself. Just keep moving, but just do your breath. Do your best to work with your breath and to remind yourself that you're safe. And eventually, of course, when we get flooded with those really quick emotions or the ones that build up like that, they are going to pass. But we want to make sure that we are safe while we are experiencing them. And we certainly want to make sure that everyone and everything around us is safe. It's okay to have any feeling. It's okay to have any thought. And if you have intrusive thoughts, then you probably already know our intrusive thoughts can take you into some really dark places. They can be very violent. They can be sexually perverted, totally normal for benzo withdrawal. And please remember, your thoughts are just body functions. They're no more significant than a blink, a sneeze, a hiccup, a burp, a fart. They're just body functions. So don't judge yourself if you have intrusive thoughts that are not in your normal character. They don't show anything about your morality, your value and worth as a human being, your character, any more than your farts do. It's just your digestive system. So these icky thoughts that you're having, that's just your nervous system at play. You're in a protect state. So do your best to just observe those thoughts, and it's okay to have them. Just don't act on them. Try to give yourself, that emotional space. Just observe them. That's right. State's driving story. See if you can get your hands busy, especially if you can do something, fine motor control, because that has been proven to help calm down our nervous system. The grandmothers that used to sit with the knitting or the crocheting or the quilting circles, they probably didn't know it, but that was just such a great thing to do, because one, they had safe community, they had camaraderie, and so they can help co-regulate each other's nervous systems, and especially if they're in rocking chairs, even better. But then they're also doing this fine motor control. So that was a wonderful way for them to help protect and take care of good mental health. So try to get your hands busy. So remember, let's go over it. Recognize what's happening. Do your best to pause. Use your breath. Use your body. Use your hands to see if you can, calm things down. And be very careful about your actions, but also this. Your mouth. Put your tongue to the roof of your mouth and do not say anything hurtful to someone else or say anything hurtful to yourself. That's going to be very, very, very important. And if you do, because we're human, right? And in benzo withdrawal, man, are we really human? We're operating with so few filters that we normally have. Just make sure that you make your amends, say you're sorry. But it's easier to just not go there, because once you've said something, people can't unhear that. So do your best, tongue to the roof of your mouth. And this is a good skill for even way beyond benzo withdrawal. I use it often. Tongue to the roof of your mouth. Work with your breath. Get your hands busy. Do some gentle movement. And just wait for things to calm down. Now, if you don't get any warning and it's just boom, a flashpoint, that explosion, it's going to be a little trickier, because you're going to be driven by your limbic system. You're so deep into fight or flight, probably mostly fight. You've lost a lot of connectivity here to the prefrontal cortex. So you're not going to be able to think rationally and logically. So I think one of the best suggestions, one of my clients used to do this, is when you're in that place, do your best to put your tongue to the roof of your mouth and then take yourself somewhere where you can be safe, whether that you want to go sit on the couch, you want to go lie down on the bed and do some gentle rocking or movement there. If you do feel like you need to leach out some of those big emotions, do it in ways that aren't going to hurt anybody, like take a pool noodle and beat a pillow. One of my clients used to put on safety goggles, and she would go out into her garage, and she would go and buy them and keep them at the ready, old dishes from Goodwill, and throw them into the corner and let them shatter. But you want to make sure you've got safety goggles. You want to just make sure you're going to be safe. The things that you don't want to do are to do anything that's going to hurt yourself or somebody else. Do not go drive a vehicle. Do not go drive a car. I wouldn't even go get on a bicycle if you are well enough to drive, because you're not going to be thinking about traffic and, So don't go put yourself in harm's way. Do your best to breathe through it. Know that everything in the known universe, outside of whatever God may or may not be, has three things in common: a beginning, a middle, and an end. So know that flash flood of fear or anger, rage, whatever that big emotion is going to stop. It's just really critical for you to decide before you have an episode, what are things you can do? And these are coping skills. I can't tell you how to not have them, because we don't know yet how to instantly heal benzo withdrawal. If you are more prone to these, they are probably going to be around to some degree and intensity until you're more healed. So it's really good to arm yourself with knowledge. What can you do? And so these are the things that I'm sharing with you that you can do. Now, just want to say this before we end the video. If you have a lot of anger and rage at the medical community because I'm hearing that more and more and more. People are really frustrated, and I understand there's all this knowledge out in the world, and so many doctors aren't embracing that knowledge. And you trusted a doctor, and they betrayed that trust by harming you, by putting you on a benzodiazepine or taking you off incorrectly. I get it. I was furious with all the doctors. I worked with 4 of them that gave me bad advice, including the one that got me on it. So I understand, my friends. I have so much understanding and compassion for that particular anger and frustration. But it's not going to help you heal. We want to do as many things to move our nervous system over into that parasympathetic ventral vagal response, in that connect state, so we can have, our body has access to everything that it needs to do that real deep healing. So it's good to recognize that anger and frustration and to do our best to take a hold of all of those luscious things that are in the 4th cornerstone of well-being called love well. And some of them are kindness, caring, compassion, forgiveness, humility, grace, generosity, gratitude, service to others, awe, wonder, curiosity, those types of things. Try to put those into play and really live your way into them on a very deep level, because all of them shift your nervous system over into that connect state. You may not be able to forgive whoever has harmed you, whether it was a medical provider or somebody who's hurt you in the past. It's probably not going to happen overnight, but just saying, this is my orientation in the world. I want to do my best to work towards forgiveness, to have compassion and understanding. Just that, just giving voice to that and saying, yes, I'm going to do my best with that, is a step really in a fabulous direction. So know that anger is going to bubble up, rage, resentment, jealousy, all of the negative emotions, they're right there at the ready, unfortunately, in benzo withdrawal. So it really is important that we understand state's driving story. We're probably going to experience more of that negativity than we otherwise would, and that's through no fault of our own. Again, it's a body function. It's our nervous system hard at work. And it really is no more significant than any other body function. And we need to come to terms with that, because then we can give ourselves that emotional distance and just try to be that neutral observer, not judge it. Don't judge the emotions. They're just there. It's just really critical. How are you going to respond to them? And I hope that you'll respond to behave, the action part, in ways that are not harmful to you or to anyone else. That's the main thing, is physical and emotional safety for yourself. It's really important. And if this is a topic that you don't know how to deal with very well, please feel free to book a session with me at benzowithdrawalhelp.com, or feel free to join my live support group. We meet 3 days a week. And if you're tapering, we meet 4 days a week. We have a special, at least right now, we have a special session for people tapering. And we've got so many resources. We've got a data bank that you can access that'll actually go on the internet and pull out resources and coping mechanism and things for you. We also have a ton of resources of links to everything around the 4 cornerstones of well-being: eat right, move enough, stress less, love well. You also have direct message to me. You can call anyone else in the group anywhere in the world for free, video, audio. You can post messages, you can post questions. It's a really robust group, and we focus on safety. So we don't allow a lot of negativity and a lot of hopelessness. There are certain channels if for if you're really despairing, but the overall group, we try to keep it very positive, focused on healing. So I'm here to help. So if you want a one-on-one session, or if you want to join the group, all of that information is on my website, and I'll make sure that I link that in the description. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope it's given you some ideas on how to better navigate those really intense feelings. Just so that you can give yourself a little bit of time and decide, how do I want to respond? And also just to normalize it, to know that this is a very common symptom in benzo withdrawal. It will go away on its own as those receptors come back to life, they repopulate, they get strong again, the excitatory system, the glutamate system, all of that calms down and you can get back to homeostasis. I don't have any of that left over anymore. And all of my clients that have gone on to heal, and I've worked with thousands of people over the past 12 years, they let me know that went away. But I know, my friends, how scary it can feel to have that so intense in us and we feel like we might lose control. So I hope that these coping skills are helpful. And if you want to post below in the comments the positive things that you do to help you navigate the real intense negative feelings, please feel free to share with us. Just please keep the comments respectful. Let's try our best not to trigger each other. All right, take good care, and I will see you in the next video.